Okay, I gotta take a break. Starting to feel that in the fingers. What's up, you guys? I didn't think I was gonna have time to do anything today, but we're leaving for Lubbock a little bit later. It's a 5-hour drive to our show tonight, but I have a little bit of downtime to practice. So I went for a run this morning. I find that going for a run, doing a little bit of cardio, just like really loosens up the muscles and puts me in a better headspace for like being creative. So I don't consider myself a very good improviser, but I have a lot more fun doing it when after I've done a little bit of running. So I had a nice hour to play, and then I've been on here for the last like 12 minutes. Let's see what's going on in the chat. John David Brister says, sounds good, bro. Thanks. Claire says hi. Angie says, nice music. Thanks. This is a riff that I just wrote the other day. I was kind of messing around. There's a slightly different version of it. I have almost like a complete song composed, but right now I'm just jamming over that riff. Kaylee says love. Kaylee says hi. Reginald says mid. Okay, that's fair. Isaac Cameron says, hey man, I did some further investigation on my Tri-Hum Gib SG. Oh, yeah. You were wondering if your SG was legit or not. It turned out it was a replica. Oh no. Oh man. Well, I hope this, Isaac. I hope you love it. Even if it's a replica, is it a great guitar? Like, is it well built? And I'm also curious. Joshua says, damn, bro. Cool, thanks. Daniel says, play Cliffs. No, probably not right now. Mostly because I don't know it. Yeah, I'm curious if that guitar is good or not. Anyway, here's some of the ideas that I'm kind of messing with. I'm trying to get a little more creative with my blues licks. I'm also experimenting with using a little less gain. So I've got kind of this setting right now. Here's my other pick. That's not the pick I was using. I like that sound pretty well. It's not like perfectly dialed in how I'd like, but I like it. And then I have like my high gain one. I'm pretty happy with that sound. I think that might need a little more treble or a little bit more mids maybe. I'm gonna turn up the treble a little bit on here. And I'm gonna turn up the mids a little bit. And let's just see, tiny tweaks. I feel like my sound running through the quad cortex is like almost there. There we go, just a little bit brighter. It's hard to cut through the mix, and I feel like Greg Howe shared with me that most people have too much bass in their guitar signal, and it sounds great by itself, but then in a mix with a band, it doesn't quite so much. Let's see, Isaac says, yeah, it was pretty good setup. It plays well. The humbuckers are a big, noisy, like a hissing sound. Yeah, I mean, you might just swap out the pickups. I'm curious how much, where do you live, Isaac? Because that determines the price of a guitar drastically. Like, I have friends, like a Music Man John JP24 in America a few years ago was like $2,500. And then I had a friend in like New Zealand and a friend in Europe. They bought it and they would tell me it was like $3,500 or close to $4,000 because of imports and tariffs and all of that. So I'm curious where you live and how much you paid for this Gibson SG replica, and what does a normal SG go for, comparable to yours? I'm curious. Hello from Russia. Elias, is it Elias or Elias? Menilov, great to see you. It's got to be nighttime over in Russia. Anyway, here's some of the ideas that I am kind of jamming with. I'm in like E Dorian, Mixolydian. You can kind of play with it. So I'm doing a lot of the blue note and then resolving it to the fifth, and then also doing the seventh to the raised sixth. So I'm kind of playing with that sound. Right, so that's fun. And then I'm trying to avoid my go-to licks. Like my favorite new go-to lick is. So I'm actually trying to avoid that. I'm trying to do a little bit more of this, which is like a Mixolydian idea. Right? I'm trying to do a little bit more of that. And then also kind of this sort of blues idea. And this one. And then I try to take like a Satriani lick, and instead of doing what he was doing, I sort of changed it to. Trying to get better at just like very rhythmic. Like sixteenths and sextuplets, more 16th notes, because I tend to do a lot of sextuplets. Like that, and so now I'm trying to get more. And then I'm also trying to bring back this. This is a lick Greg Howe showed me years ago. And then we can kind of take it up. Oh my gosh, I have a callus right here that is like catching on the strings right now. Let's see. That Danish country ball says hi. That's fun. That Danish country ball. I love your name. Isaac says it was a 2007 model. The seller said you paid like $1,700. Okay, are you in the United States? $1,700 for a Gibson SG is not bad. And I assume you bought it used. If it's a great guitar, man, then $1,700 ain't bad for that. So if you really like the guitar, man, keep it, and just you got a cool story. What are some of the other ideas I'm working with? I'm kind of working with this little melody here. I'm trying to do is just be more rhythmic with my playing, because I used to just, I mean, for the longest time, just like go, and I'm trying to do less of that. I'm trying to be a little more intentional with my rhythm, you know. And then every now and then, just go for it, you know? And then kind of mix up the rhythms a little bit. Sometimes just go for it. I love that lick. That's a Greg Howe lick that he taught me. Right, so that's kind of the riff I'm jamming on. The rest of the song is a little weird, but maybe I'll show you guys that that Danish country ball from Iceland. I'm so jealous. I would love to be in Iceland. I've only heard amazing things. My friends that have been say they love it. Everybody wants to live in Iceland, though, don't they? Y'all want to hear this? What I kind of wrote? This was just me putting down ideas yesterday. So this is. Oh yeah. And then I have this little melody here. Yeah, check out this melody. I think I might keep this for the verse of this. Something like that. Oh yeah. And then that part's a little weird, right? So I just was getting a little goofy. If I play the bass note and the melody at the same time. And then it goes to like that. Let me try this melody again. Then we're back to kind of the riff. So that's kind of what I'm playing with. I don't know how much of this is going to change. I will tell you, typically when I start writing a song, from the time, from the day I start writing it to the day I complete it, it usually looks radically different. So I have a feeling this is going to change a lot. But this is kind of where I'm starting with. Okay, yeah. So that's basically all I have, and then I've got the jam section, right? That's the lick I really want to perfect today. Whole lot of E, says Tiffany. I think that's how I want to do it. Where I'm getting messed up. Is on those, that. Usually I go, but I really want that, I want to feel that attack. And then I got this little roll. So that's kind of fun. Free bird, LOL. I look like Joe Bonham. Are you saying I look like Joe Bonamassa's son, or I look like Joe Bonamassa's son? Are you like, you look like Joe Bonamassa's son? I don't really think I do, but I don't know. He's an okay-looking guy, I guess. Incredible guitar player. I'm thinking about doing a YouTube video on the story of when I met Joe Bonamassa and I got to play through his rig. I got to play his guitar through his 4 amps, standing right next to him. One of the most harrowing experiences of my life, and I learned a lot through that. So, but he was incredibly nice, very gracious. I'm a big fan of Joe Bonamassa. He is just unreal. Yeah, cool stuff. All right, let's jam this a little bit more, and then I need to take a break. I need to start getting ready for, we got a 5-hour drive to our show tonight. I don't like that C. Maybe that C sharp. That would work. That'd be cool. I like that. Ooh, I need to keep that idea. Yeah. All right. I think that's going to do it. I got a good almost hour and a half of improvisation in today. So about an hour on my own and then about a half hour with you guys, give or take, So cool. Well, great to see you guys here today. If you dig this, subscribe to the channel. I've got like 600 videos, something stupid like that, and some good stuff. Everything from like shred guitar to like some blues licks and pop punk and songwriting and some of my own songs. I've got a new song out called Frog Hopper that I just released. Check out the official visualizer that went up yesterday in honor of my 40th birthday. It's really dumb, but really fun, and I'm really proud of the song. Yeah. Oh, Joe Stew. What's up, Joe? Good to see you, man. Thank you. Thanks. I appreciate that. Anyway, you guys have a great rest of the day, morning, evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. Check the link in the description. I've got my free guitar warm-ups course that you can download. And you guys, I will see you soon. I'm off to Lubbock, Texas for a show tonight. Bye. See ya.